Hi guys, so we've had a successful flight with the V-tail flyer now. Everything's running really nicely, but I do want to have a go with a conventional tail, and I also want to redesign the fuselage, which I have done here. We bend you down. So I've done a drawing. This one is 2 inches longer in the length of the fuselage and 1 centimetre longer on the nose, just to accommodate more, hide more of the motor. And I've made it flat top with arcing up from the bottom with a big tail skid, which supports the bottom of the rudder, which I've made as big as I can. The fin is a bit of an unusual shape. Interestingly, the tail plane is exactly the same size as the V-tail on the V-tail flyer. I've just flattened it off. So you'd have a choice, conventional tail or T-tail, V-tail or T-tail, that's an idea. So let's get on with the video and start doing the basic construction of the fuselage. Take a look at the join button for the channel membership. Everyone who joins, there's 3 different perk levels, but it helps the channel to finance itself and allows me to do these little projects. Cheers guys. I've started making the fin, rudder and tail plane for the Da Vinci flyer. I've just done this. Robert G 43 just commented on the last video that next time I fly I should have goggles and a scarf, so I just penned on some goggles and a bit of tissue. So there you go, Rob, just for you, mate. Should look good. I've drawn up a new shape. Went a bit crazy there. I don't know if I'll do that, but I don't like the way this is parallel to that. So, hey, I wonder if I could do that. That looks quite zoomy, doesn't it? How about structurally, is that going to be a... Yeah, I quite like that. I'm going to do that. And get help swings structurally a bit. I hadn't planned to use CA, but I have done, so that's that. Hold it flat while it dries. So I'm making it out of 1/8, yeah. Same as the original tail is made out of 1/8. It's proved to be quite strong enough, quite light. We'll pop that to one side. May as well set up there and have a look at the tail plane. Okay, so what I've done here, I've cut out some parts. They'll all need sanding on the cut edges. I haven't cut out these 2 delicious gussets yet. Don't forget, gussets have to go with the grain going on the longest side. I've got that bit there, that bit there. So they all need, oh yeah, I've done that. So that's that bit there, there, there. Because you've got to be quite good with a scalpel, of course, to cut all this out. You might be wondering why it's in so many bits. It's in so many bits because the grain, you can't have the grain going the same way on all the bits, because there'd be very short bits of grain here and it would snap. So you've got to put the grain going the longest way. That's a fabulous shape. I've got to admit, the shape of these components or something else. I could possibly make this tail plane a little bit smaller, but my idea is to offer the kit with these components and these components. If you want to make it a V-tail, you just cut it in half. If you don't, then you'll have it there ready just to glue on. This piece on the end will just get sanded off. Do you think that's miles out, but it's probably, hopefully, back to front. Yeah, it's better. There we go. That looks quite nice. So let's cut that out, and so as I can identify it, I'm going to put a little dot, just like that. I know which corner's which now. All these little tips you're getting. Let's cut it with a knife. Yeah. The curve, I'll cut into it with the Dremel afterwards. Again, it might look like I'm putting a lot on, but it is end grain. Holding everything flat while it sets off. Just step back a little bit while it fumes. Hold it flat. And I'll skip ahead for you and reconvene in a minute when I've done this side. Alright, there's the last piece. So let's get it off the board and get them sanded nice and flat. Still got the elevators to cut. I'm going to put a joiner in between of 1/8 ply joiner on the two elevators. It's my favourite part when you hear it sort of crackling away from the plastic. Nice sort of slimy plastic this. Alright, let's go outside and give this a good old sanding. There we are, just been outside, sanded and ready for covering. The tailplane sanded and ready for covering.
Really low by pressing down on wing.
I'll just pause Adam there, just watching his latest video on the Vino Air Aces Corsair Lucky Gallon review of the kit. So just before I continue watching, Adam won't mind if I pause him. I'm going to start cutting out these fuselage sides and the main fuselage floor. You can see that. I'm going to pinprick this out, remove it from the wood, and then get the other one in there as well. So I'll come back to you when I've done that and finish watching Adam. If you don't know who I'm talking about, check out Model AV8R, Model Aviator. Is well worth watching. Yeah, very good. Right, I'm going to continue, so I'll see you in a minute. So I've got the fuselage sides cut out, and I've marked on them where my formers need to go. So I'm just going to glue in the fuselage floor, which is like 5 centimeters just over wide. I've just stuck this one on. I've put white glue down most of it, but I've left 2 bits at the end and 1 in the middle just to put some CA just to hold it in place. I'm thinking I might put a doubler on this side where the dowels are. I might continue it all the way to the front actually, we'll see. So blob some along, leave a bit in the middle, blob some along. Okay, now I'm just going to drop that in on that marked line, which I'll just transfer the cross with pin pricks. Turn that over, and that's got to be flat on there. Looks okay. Good to see the glue squeezing out all around. That has to be flush with the back of that, because that supports the wing a little bit. It's going to sit in there, glue on there, like that. Keeping it over the plastic, everything's down flush, the line is down, put that there, push it flush, and in she goes. Nice. I'll have a look at that side, absolutely flush. Okay, this is interesting. I've ended up with, I wanted to put some sort of bracing on the back, I was thinking maybe 3 pieces of wood tapering down, and then I thought maybe one from corner to corner, but I don't like the idea of it one going under the other. Then I thought, do you know what, maybe that's not so bad, so I just put in a couple of bits of fairly light wood. They're not glued, but I just pegged them in so they're under tension with a slight curve. Just push them into a slight curve, and that is now a very, very solid fuselage. It's just not going at all. I might put a cross base, a cross brace across the bottom, maybe 2, just to stop it from being too flexible there. But as regards sideways movement, it's solid. Each piece of course is under stress from the other side, so I'm thinking I quite like the look of that. The whole lot will just be stained. Shame the X is further down, but there's no way I can avoid that. Hang on a minute, there might be a way I can avoid that. Let's just try an experiment. This is great fun. And the experiment is this: turn those around. Oh yes, it's going to work up the flat bit attached further down, we'll see. Now we've got the X much further up, and it's just the same. And if I did overlap them, bring them up level with the top, I think that's got a lot of style. And that now is fantastically strong. I love it. Maybe a bit of 1/4 inch by 1/8 medium hard balsa, so it's got a bit of flexibility but a bit of strength. Let me see what I can find, guys, and come back to you. Hey, welcome back. I've found some nice hard 1/8 balsa, which I've just stripped down to 1/8 by 1/4. So let's see how we're going to do this. What I was thinking then is to put a little notch where it crosses over, so as they're keyed together in the middle. Go inside that. Now I'm going to mark this. I'm going to put that there for the left one and 2 dots for the right one. Okay, so there's our cut. I'll just do that on the other side, which has to be on the back half, and they should just slot together. Hey guys, this is great stuff. Where are we? 2 dots, 1 dot. They are going to go like that. Look at that. Look at that. There we are. Let's get it in the fuselage, see how it looks. Fantastic. That is so stiff, and I think looks quite pretty. It looks so pretty. Well, the X is right in the middle. I love the way that these two are curved before it going into the straight. I'll just put I'll glue that. I can vary where the X is just by moving this peg down slightly, and it puts a bit more tension on one side, but it looks pretty equal now. Right, pretty good progress. The rudder and elevators are hinged and removed. Cut out a slot in the rudder for the elevator joiner. I've got to just cut a slot for the control horns in the rudder and elevator and make up a pair of horns out of plywood, so the rear skid is in place. That comes down to there like that. The hinges are, I'll show you what the hinges are. 1mm shock leader fishing line. That's all it is. And I just cut off sort of ½ inch or so. The other thing I need to do is just glue in the undercarriage block, which I've yet to make. So we're very nearly there, but there's no reason why I can't stain the fuselage, get that drying. Okay, I think that's it. It's pretty much everything. Won't take long to dry. It's nice and warm, windows open. The undercarriage is made up of some blocks of plywood. Here's my other V-tail flyer. All it comprises of is some blocks of plywood, epoxied together, and then you drill a couple of holes down for the legs to go down into, and that's what holds them in place. So really easy to take in and out, or bend or break or whatever. So you make up a block of plywood, you have a good fit, then you get two smaller bits of plywood and you glue them in, again epoxy them in at the right distance apart, flush with the bottom of the aeroplane, like that. And I'll set these at the exact width to take the wire, my chosen wire gauge. And then over the top of that you put a plate. I've had a plywood plate just screwed in, so really easy to remove, well, quick and easy. That's why I've done it here. And I'll do a similar plate for this one here. The good joint is going to be this one at the front, because it's actually ply on ply. On there we go, and that there is fits inside there, so that's fine. But as long as everything's level, that's good. Oh, by the way, while that's next to this one, look, you can see exactly what I've done. The nose is actually 1 centimetre. The F1 is in the same place, but I've made the nose 1 centimetre longer, just to cover up the motor a little bit. But if I turn you can see here the extra length for the fuselage, which is actually 2 inches, whatever that is in centimetres, approximately 5. I also made the top surface flat, as opposed to both sides tapering down. This one, both sides taper down. One tapers down, the other tapers up. On this one, the top surface is flat and the bottom surface scoops down into it. Okay, moving swiftly on, guys. I've got some film out and I'm going to get covering. I've given the fuselage a lick of matte lacquer, so that's just about dry. So as soon as I've got this covered, I can stick the control surfaces on and stick the whole lot to the model. Just reading the comments on one of my community posts from Frederick. I think it was a members only community post, but Frederick Volksen, gosh, what was it? Volksenflieger? I can't remember what it was, sorry Fred. Anyway, Fred was saying how, in a friendly way, Da Vinci never had a standard tail like this, because he got his ideas from nature. I did explain to him that the reason I'm doing a standard tail is because I want to know if it works, because as and when this thing gets to market, some people might not want to do a V-tail. It'll be an optional an option which you can do. This tail plane is exactly the same size as the V-tail. All you need to do is cut it in half and you've got a V-tail. While you've been gone, I've stuck in the control horn and the 4 fishing line hinges on this side, and the same on the rudder. Overnight the white glue has gone off, but I'm just covering just a bit of triangular stock, and I'm covering it to go in there. So here's one I've already done, and that sits in there like that, and you get a nice clean finish then. So I'm going to epoxy that on. Well, I might white glue it actually, let it set. I put the elevators on first. Now, first off, I'm going to offer it up. I've discovered something, a little tip for you guys. When you're using the fishing line, if you cut it with cutters of some sort, it leaves a sort of belled out rough edge, which you've got to try and sand off. But if you cut it diagonally, which I've just done, because I cut some new ones, they cut clean, and plus being diagonal, they slide in quite well. They've got like a little point on the end. So I'm actually going to just put a little bit of CA on, and that seems to be enough to hold it. As usual, this video I hadn't planned to really make a step-by-step video of just building this fuselage and elevator, but you know, hey. So I can see it's sort of pulling itself down a little bit, so which is good. A little bit on the end there. Okay, here we go. Got to get that over the end and centered, settled in like that. There's a rough gauge from there to there. From there, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now I'm just going to eyeball it, and that actually looks good to my eye, so I'm going to push this front pin in like that, and that'll be it. So I'm just going to check. Oh, that looks gorgeous, absolutely flat along the fuselage. Let's check this side. Okay, so I've just pushed the rudder pins in and put some CA on, and it's good enough. So I've got good flow all the way around both sides. So that's a good job. So that's the tail end done, guys. The next job is going to be to drill out for the undercarriage struts, undercarriage legs I should say. So I've got to drill one hole this side, can you see? Yep. And the other hole towards the front, and then I can put on my top plate, which will screw on, make some drill holes and screw that on there, and that's the undercarriage fitted. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to fly this, because the wind seems to be, looking at the forecast, seems to be blowing for days and days. To pick my moment, see if the wind drops just before sunset, and then I'll be away. Okay, that's good. So I won't bore you with the radio installation. It's going to be pretty standard. Haven't decided on what push rods I'm going to put in there yet, but the servos are going to sit in here, and push rods will be down inside the fuselage coming out the bottom. I might even go for a sort of traditional balsa, and could look quite nice. I like the look of those, a bit of balsa wood and fit in either end, sewn on. So I'll stop there. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who comments in the comment section down below, and thank you very much to everyone who's actually joined the channel and gets those early notifications and quick peeps at what I'm doing during the week. So thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video, which hopefully will be the flying of this one, and then I can get the plans sorted out and send it up to the kitters and get something available to buy. Okay guys, cheers, thanks for watching, bye, cheers.